Hiya team, it's been a few weeks since I last did a video and I'm really sorry about that. To be honest, it's been really busy. It's been crazy busy, training being a massive part of that, of course. So I have posted a video from the long course weekend, which was in Tenby, and that was the back end of June, would you believe? So the long course weekend went really well. For anyone who doesn't know what it is, basically the long course weekend is a borderline replica of Ironman Wales, but it takes place over 3 days. So we did the 3.8 kilometre swim on the Friday, we did the bike, which is majority of the Ironman course, on the Saturday, and then you run a marathon, which is not the course at all, on the Sunday. That went really well, I really enjoyed it, I was really pleased with myself, but more than anything, it was just a really good recce of the course. Since then, training has just been really quite insane. There's been some weeks which have been massive, sort of 23, 24-hour weeks of training, which around, you know, a full-time job plus a part-time job, and then the tri-club as well. It's just been insane. On top of that, my friend got married, which is super exciting. But of course, what that entailed was a trip down to Surrey, me being from Stoke-on-Trent, for the hen do, and then of course the same again for the wedding. Absolutely worth it, but just, you know, extra busy. I also went to the Yorkshire a couple of weeks ago to do the Yorkshire Three Peaks with my friends from university. And we did 2 of the peaks on the first day and a 3rd peak on the 2nd day. So we made a super, I was going to say super chill weekend of it, but actually it was quite tough going. It was super windy. It was mad windy. And yeah, it ended up being quite a tough couple of days. And the thing is, you know, you do all this biking, running and swimming, but it's not like walking up a big hill, you know, sort of this, it's a very different muscle group. So I must admit, my legs were feeling a little bit sore when I came back from there. I still managed to get my run in. I did 20k on the first day, and then obviously came home and still did my big session the day after. So I actually only had like 1 day off proper training, but I suppose I was walking. We did the biggest peak on that day, so I still walked 11 miles or something that day. So it was still a pretty big day all in all, and it was great fun. So that's the main thing. Regarding sort of life updates, I don't think anything mad has happened, to be honest. But I've had some really big training sessions, been out and done been outside and it didn't rain, generally, and done some sort of 6.5-hour bike rides. Last week I went out and I was meant to be doing a 6-hour bike ride, but after 5 hours got a puncture. Now I did have 2 inner tubes with me, but unfortunately I'd not taken a pump. I seem to have lost that, so I'd only got like the gas canisters and the attachment. When I hit the pothole that gave me the puncture, the lid of the gas canister fling away, so I had no way to, so I had to get a lift home, and then so it ended up sort of being 5.5 hours, because obviously I jumped on the turbo. So my brick run was in fact a brick run, but it was an entire day. It was a huge week. Some big runs on the Sundays. The other week I did 22 miles running. I did an hour on my bike as well, and I did no more to swim off the back of a big ride on the Saturday. So there's been some massive weeks and I feel super ready. Generally speaking, I'm sort of hitting my last week now of big training before I start a taper. So the main focus of these last few weeks has obviously been ticking over consistently, sort of running, doing a few 8, 9, 10 mile runs in the week, getting in some 2.5-hour rides in the week, getting some big swims, sort of 4k swims, and then obviously having big sessions at the weekends. And that's been a bit chaotic really around life. You know, it's involved some really early starts, some really late finishes, getting off the bike at 10 p.m, getting on the bike at 4:30. But I think it's going to be worth it on the day. But the big focus has been getting everything else right. So I've ordered a new bike, which is super exciting. It's not going to be here in time for Ironman Wales, so that's a big boo. But I've got a new bike coming, so that's going to be super exciting. Getting my bike, you know, making sure everything's good with the bike. I've been trying to get my nutrition right, so I've been trying a few different things. That's a place where I normally struggle a lot, if I'm honest. But I think I'm sort of getting there. Apparently ham sandwiches are just the way forward for me, so I think that might be the way I'm going to go. I'm just going to have a little packed lunch in my back pocket. Ham and spready cheese even, so, you know, I'm just making a day of it. So getting nutrition right, making sure that I'm good with my bike position and everything's happy there. I need to put my bike in for a service. I've been looking at the route, obviously thinking about the logistics of the day and well, the whole weekend. I've been looking at the spectator guide, which has been, you know, it's all these little admin-y things that just really add a bit of a bit of pressure to the whole weekend. You know, sort of start thinking about the logistics of actually going now. You know, sort of booking the bit of time off work to get down there and whatnot. Ironman Wales has also got a bit of a different transition 1 setup where you actually have to run about a mile to get from the sea to transition 1. So there's a mini little transition where you need an extra pair of trainers to actually run that through the town, or you don't have to, but you know, it's advised. So it's thinking about the logistics of what shoes can I realistically get on. I'm gonna have sand in my feet. How am I gonna get the sand and the salt off me before I get on my bike? Checking that, you know, I'm not gonna get neck chafing like I did at long course weekend, because that was not pleasant. So yeah, it's been a bit of an admin these last few weeks, as well as sort of the hard training. And then on top of that, super exciting, a couple of things that have happened for next year. So I've booked my Mallorca training camp again, but this year this time I'm going in March, which is super exciting. And I have managed to get into Challenge Roth, which is, yeah, super excited. So that's the week after my 30th birthday next year. We're going to Challenge Roth. So if I'm honest, I'm just excited to have my new bike for that. Hopefully it will be amazing. I can't wait. So I've been buzzing off the energy for getting into there. So yeah, coming up these next few weeks, really, this is the last run in to Wales. So this is a semi-peak week. So not the biggest week of training, but still pretty big. I've got a few, you know, big sessions in the week, some hard sessions, 4-hour bike still at the weekend, you know, still some tough runs, still a couple of 10-11 mile runs to do. And then I'll probably start the taper. Now, if I'm completely honest, I don't yet know what that's going to look like, which is probably for the best, actually. But I'm anticipating being a little bit grumpy, not getting my endorphin here. I'm anticipating being quite nervy. I'm going to have to start thinking about my race plan. And at least I've got long course weekend to give me a little bit of an idea of what sort of, you know, times I can expect. Obviously, I'm going to be a little bit slower, specifically on the run, but the bike's going to be a bit slower because the long course, whilst I didn't actively draft, with it being a draft legal event, I also consciously didn't stay my 12 metres apart. So I will have got a little bit of an advantage from that. And obviously you push a bit harder because when I got off, I could go back to the caravan and have a big lie down. So a few big weeks coming up, sort of admin and logistics going into Ironman Wales. And yeah, it's all fun and games. Wish me luck in the build-up. And have a great week, guys.